It's been a couple of weeks since we're down at the plot, so I thought you'd like to see what's been growing. And the emphasis here is on the like to show you, rather than the actual growing side of things. I'm down in the southwest of England, and the weather here has been really unseasonal. Other parts of the country it's been quite warm, but we've had like a ton of rain, and the temperatures really over the last couple of weeks haven't climbed much above 12 or 13, and they've been dropping down to low single figures in the evenings, which has meant that literally I think everything has sort of started to grow. It's just stopped and it's just stalled at the moment. I was watching a video by from a homemakers, and he was saying that and Charles on there was saying that all the crops that they've put in show very little growth, and they're sort of reasonably in the same region as I am. Let me have a quick look around and show you where we are with things. The bulbs are looking quite good, and both the honeyberry and the actual blueberries are doing all right, and over the far side the strawberries are doing not too bad, and the actual grapevine's got a few buds on it. But that's what's good. There are disasters to come. Down over here we've got the rest of the tulips coming out, and these are just gorgeous. I got these because I particularly like the colour. I like this sort of like, remind me of rhubarb and custard sweets. And then there's nice little purple ones, and the red ones are all coming out, and they look gorgeous. And just see down at the front there, the other ones have gone over, but there's some other nice little tiny ones just about to come out. So the first lot of buckets we have for our potatoes, we're not going to be short potatoes this year, because these are all the one set of buckets, and these are all the other buckets of different varieties, and these last 6 down here are my single seed potato ones, which is just starting to come through. That's all good. In the polytunnel, the peas have actually now started to grow, and I mean they've put on most of this growth literally in the last day or two. And along here we have all the seedlings, and these were put in, let's have a look, they were put in 13th, so let's have a look, they were put in, yeah, so they were put in on the 13th of March. So we're now over a month later, and this is what we've got to show for it. And to be fair, these have like sort of, they grew up to about this height and sort of about here, and they just stopped, and pretty much everything stopped growing, and it's only in the last week or so that they've actually come on up to this sort of height, but they're all looking good. And the good thing is that they only potting on now, they've got good roots coming through. And over here we've got just some different types of lettuce growing, some sunflowers, some calendula, and some cosmos all going over there. But let's go and see a couple of the disasters. So this is the first of the disasters, and this is completely my own fault. So this is the bed where we put the parsnips in. As you can see, these ones over here, leggy as you like. And the reason that that's happened is because the ones down at this end haven't germinated, but the ones at that end seem to have germinated faster. And what I kept on doing was coming down here, and I had a cover on this, and I kept on lifting the cover up and looking underneath to see if anything had germinated without checking that end. So nothing was germinating down this end, so I assumed that nothing was germinating down that end. So when I took the covers off yesterday, found that actually these parsnips down the end here have been germinating, by the looks of it, for quite a while, and been searching for light underneath the cover, and as you can see down this end there was very little germination. So had a bit of a disaster there, so I'm not sure they're going to be any good, so we will replant those. We'll leave them in there for now and see how they do. And this is the beetroot bed, and these people that are watching will know that I put these beetroot in a good couple of weeks ago. They're still all there and they're surviving and doing all right, but they're not really growing any. And interesting enough, over this side, these are very sickly looking, and these are actually radish. Now I'm not sure what's going on here because these ones have all gone a real horrible orangey colour. It might be the soil's a bit too rich, but they are putting on now, they're starting to put on some new growth in the middle. So whether that's just been the weather and the cold nights, we have a fleece over them, but got any ideas as to why that's happening? They've been really wet and they've been in this soil which is quite rich, so it's not a nutrient deficiency. If anything, it's a nutrient overload, and it might just be a combination of the cold weather. And down in our one of our cold frame boxes, these are all just some lettuce leaves, some loose leaf lettuce leaves that we just spread in there. Now this is the same soil that the radishes are in, so, and these seedlings look fine. So I mean, they're a bit slow growing because it's been so cold, but I mean, if you look at the temperatures over the last few days, it's now 16 in there. It has been up to 35 at one point and down to a -4. But on average, it's just been really cold. And I know, looking at the weather forecast, there's quite a lot of other parts of the country are actually up at 17, 18. We haven't seen any sight of that down here, which is really unusual for the southwest. We're normally quite mild down here, but it's just the way the weather patterns are. But hopefully over the next week or so it'll start warming up a bit and things will start moving on a bit. But for now, that's just a quick update, and next job will be, we're going to start getting the sweet peas out, and hit the subscribe button because I've got a real good trick for actually keeping these sweet peas nicely moist and watered throughout the season.